Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is coming at the end of the year, November 19th to be exact. If you didn't know, now you know. But there's three things that I'm actually really worried about for this new simulator. And we'll just kick it off with the first one, and that is the flight model. This is one of the biggest criticisms of Flight Sim, and honestly, the only thing that the competitors actually even have against it is the flight model. So my question is, and my worry is, did they fix it? Or should I say, have they improved it? And if they have, by how much, right? Like, you know, we were expecting a pretty good flight model at the beginning of 2020, and we were all very disappointed in that, right? So, you know, if they say, oh, it's going to be an improved flight model, like, honestly, I won't really believe it until I get my hands on and start flying the aircraft myself. Now, I don't really like to dwell too much on the whole flight model debate because I am not personally a real airline pilot. And so, and many of us who are flight simming are not either. So most of us don't even know the difference between if it has a good flight model or a bad flight model. And for me, it's mainly just, you know, me comparing it to other sims and how it feels and how I think it's supposed to feel. But again, I am not an expert, and I completely admit that. And so we kind of depend on real world pilots in the community to kind of say, hey, is this kind of what it works, what feels like? And then the other thing to consider while I'm going on this rant here is that your flight controls also matter. Like, what kind of joystick are you using? What kind of yoke are you using, right? They have different feedback, different curves and things like that. And that also has to do with what the aircraft feels like to you. So it may feel different to you than someone else, you know what I'm saying? And then if you're running on an Xbox controller, then flight model, you can give a crap about flight models, you know what I mean? I just want to look good and fly good. But to me, as long as it, you know, it does what you kind of expect it to do and it feels fairly realistic, like, we're all good. But I will say that we do need a major, and I'm not a minor, not a small, like, we need a major improvement in flight model across the board, you know, for airliners, for GA, and for helicopters. And I think, I really hope they're able to improve it in a way that satisfies mainly the hardcore flight sim community. The casual simmers don't really care too much about this particular topic, but, you know, mainly the hardcore people are like, oh, the flight model sucks, this is that, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? This is like, I'm tired of hearing it, honestly. And I really hope that Microsoft Flight Sim delivers on and improve a really good flight model. The current, if you are playing Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, the best flight model in an airliner, at least, that I have felt so far is the one in the I&I Builds A300. That thing feels amazing to fly. If we can maybe start there and set that as the standard for flight models, not necessarily you need every plane to feel like an A300, because that would be unrealistic, right? But just the detail put into making that aircraft feel like what I kind of feel like it's supposed to feel like. That's what we need for, like, everything across the board as a standard. Let's move on. We can talk about that all the time. If you guys have anything to add to that discussion, drop them in the comments. I know you guys really love to talk about that stuff. So the next thing I'm really worried about, and that is, what about our current add-ons for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020? What about them, right? This is a big one, because I have, come on, about a terabyte of Microsoft Flight Simulator add-ons. Yes, I'm not kidding. I have acquired, some of them have been given to me, some of them have been bought, many of them bought. I spent a lot of money, invested a lot of money into Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I don't even know what's going to happen when 2024 comes out. Are they going to be supported? Now, Microsoft Flight Sim themselves said they're doing everything they can to make sure that all of our old scenery and old aircraft, our old add-ons, will be compatible day one for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. That's what they said. That is what they said. But to be honest, I'll believe it when I see it. Anyone who watching this who plays X-Plane know the growing pains of X-Plane 11 to X-Plane 12. On X-Plane 11, we had all these great add-ons, these great planes, great sceneries, and then X-Plane 12 came out, and guess what happened? They said the exact same thing. All of your old add-ons are gonna work and convert over to 12. And they were right. They were right, because you could take a scenery pack from the old simulator and put it into the new simulator, and it did work. It didn't crash your sim, and it looked okay. It looked okay, but the new simulator has all this new technology, all this new tech, all these new effects that you don't see at all on any of your old add-ons, unless the third-party dev updates it. Same thing with aircraft. The aircraft would work, you could see it, but many times, many of the little intricate systems might not work completely how they're intended to be because there's been a change to the flight model, for example, or a change to something around the systems or whatnot. And this is the exact same thing we're seeing with Microsoft Flight Sim. If they're actually going to improve the flight model, I would assume that every single aircraft we currently have in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 would need to be updated to take advantage of that new flight model or whatever is needed to do that, right? Wouldn't you think so? And so that's my worry. And another thing that makes me worry and be really kind of like not getting my hopes up about this conversion, I think scenery is going to be just fine. I think scenery is going to be just fine. It's pretty easy. I don't know if we're going to get the really nice 3D grass effects on top of, or 3D like farm crops effects on top of our old, you know, like some of those special things that are specific to 2024. We're not going to get that on any old scenery unless that developer updates it, and hopefully for free. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. And so the thing that really worries me is two developers for Microsoft Flight Sim that concern me. So we'll start off with the controversial Aerosoft. Aerosoft for years has been working on making an Aerosoft Airbus A330. Now, what's actually funny, as a side note, is now we know we're also getting a default INI builds A330. So I'm like, well, you know, Aerosoft probably should have jumped on this when they had the chance. Now they got to compete with INI Builds, who has a very good reputation for making really good quality aircraft. Anyways, that's a whole nother video. And so Aerosoft A330 was supposed to come out like years ago for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. They've delayed it, and they have specifically said that they are releasing it on Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. I'll read you exactly what they said. Following a thorough evaluation of the project, we have decided to shift the development and release of the A330 around the upcoming Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. This will allow us to greatly expand the focus of the project, including multiple engine options. Additionally, we are planning to release both the CEO and the Neo variants of the A330 simultaneously. Once we have more details to share, we will update you via this page. So boom, that's one developer who's already said, you know what, screw 2020, I'm gonna make this specifically for 2024. Obviously, probably taking advantage of some of the new 2024 specific things that they're including, you know, behind the scenes in the SDK and things like that. So why would you do that, right? Why would you make it specific for 2024? Let's continue. There's another big developer who's making a very highly anticipated aircraft who said something very similar. We're talking about Bluebird Simulations. And they said the Bluebird Simulation 757 is going to be made specifically for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. You know what? Just hear it for yourself.
Next question is, will it come out for FS20 or FS 2024? This will be for FS 2020. We will, of course, update the features to be compatible with FS 2024, and that will be a free update for existing users. We will not charge existing users for FS 2024.
So when I heard this blew my mind. I was like, why would a developer say that? If Microsoft Flight Sim themselves are saying that, hey, all your add-ons will be, you know, able to just move over, to slide over to Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, why would then a developer of an upcoming project say, hey, we're making this plane only for 2020, at least at release, and then we'll bring it to 2024 as a free update? That really concerns me, because if they have to do that, that makes me think that everyone else who have a current aircraft or making an aircraft in the future have to decide, am I going to focus my time and energy on making this for 2020, or am I going to look farther in the future for 2024? Or am I going to have to now update my current project, my current aircraft has already been out, like a PMDG 737, for example, to then re-release it for 2024? It's like, oh man, just thinking about it just gives me, But so, and then on top of that, so they said, Bluebird said, oh, it's going to be a free update for 2024. I'm like, okay, cool. But not everybody is as transparent or as friendly as Bluebird Simulations. I think it could be possible. We could see from many other developers in the community who may be like, hey, you know what, this is a lot of work for me to upgrade this aircraft for 2024. I'm going to have to charge you at least a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to buy things twice. And also, after that is like, all right, are we now going to be split between two different Microsoft Flight Simulators? Like, are some of us going to hang back with 2020? I've seen comments of people already saying, hey, man, I don't think a lot of these planes, these third-party planes that we're enjoying right now, are going to be supported in 2024 at release. And for that reason, I'm staying back on 2020 until my favorite plane or enough of the planes that I enjoy flying are actually, you know, supported on the new platform. So I'm sorry if I'm giving you anxiety, because I'm getting anxiety myself right now about this, but these are really big concerns. And the third thing that I'm worried about, that I've already been ranting and talking about, is actually, hey, how long are we gonna have to wait if our add-ons that we're using right now, specifically aircraft, I don't think Cena's gonna be a problem, but if our add-ons that we're using right now are not compatible fully with 2024, how long are we gonna have to wait? Are we gonna have another situation with growing pains? We have to wait another 1-2 years for our favorite aircraft to be updated or working in a new sim? I don't know. These are things that I'm concerned about. Let me know. What do you think? Right? What if have you heard anything new, anything different from Asobo or Microsoft Flight Sim? Do you think that all of your add-ons are going to work for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024? And if they don't work, will you be okay with, you know, only flying the default planes for a while? Are you thinking about staying back and continue to play Microsoft 2020 while the 2024 matures? Let me know in the comments. It's a lot of questions. I am looking forward to 2024. I'm looking forward to getting my questions answered. Hopefully, a lot of these questions will be answered at Flight Sim Expo in Las Vegas this year. So if you're going to be there, come see me. I'll be there as well. But until next time, remember you have 3 choices. Give up, give in, and give it all you got. Peace, love, and God bless you. I'll see you guys next time. Next video. I'm out.